Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream cello lesson and happy Easter to everybody. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Brahms Cello Sonata No.1 in E minor. And we're going to be taking a look at the first movement. Alright, so let's take a look at the piece. And just want to say this is going to be our first foray into chamber music, or proper chamber music, right? But this piece in particular is going to be a duet, and it's going to be with the piano. So it's a cello sonata for cello and piano. And this sonata is one of the well-known ones. So yeah, let's take a look at it. Alright, so as usual, let's mark our phrasing. Alright, so we're going to start on the E, and it's going to be E minor, which is going to be also the same thing as G major, right? I don't know if I talked about this before, but G major and E minor, they are relative scales, right? So, if you're not used to thinking about in minor keys, you can always think of it in at least the fingerings in its major key, or relative major key, right? Alright, so let's start with this opening statement. The cello starts off solo. So 1, 2, ready, and let's go until there. So fingering wise, there are many ways to do it. I'm going to do the way that I was taught, but as always, you can always change up the fingerings, change up the bowings, but this is the one that I recommend to you guys. So we're going to stay on the C string always. So this is going to be an extension, da 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 da. And then here we go to, so extension, right? This is just fourth position extension. And then shift down to, I guess, 1.5 position. And then, if we continue, here, D sharp, F sharp, and then B natural is going to be right there, like that. 1, 4, 2, 1, that's going to be 1. So, here, and then shift all the way down here, and then here, this D sharp, right? Same as E flat, but we're gonna think in D sharp, E, second finger, F natural, and then F sharp's right there. Just a minor third above, right? Here, try and not shift back, but reach back. It's almost like an extension, at least the distance, right? So, like that. Here, let's do a harmonic. Put it below. So extension back, and then harmonic, and then back again. So that's going to be the opening statement. So I would say this piece is very important in terms of knowing all of the different positions, all the different extensions and things like that. If you need help, I highly recommend just practicing your scales. That's going to help you at least be familiar with all the different positions, at least on the lower strings, right? So one other big thing, big topic with this piece, or in romantic pieces in general, will be how to connect all the phrases, and also all the different tones and colors of the sounds that you can produce, right? The main way you're going to do that is going to be with your bow. So bow control is going to be a very, very big topic. So bow control. So especially the contact of the bow with the string, right? Because we're going to be playing in higher positions, your bow placement needs to correspond to that. Right? And also another thing is bow speed. Bow speed is going to help you at least choreograph your bowing a little bit. That's going to be a little bit tricky. So first, let's talk about when you would go up or down on the bow, right? So in terms of bow placement, closer to the fingerboard you are, the faster you would need to draw your bow. So closer to the bow, or closer to the fingerboard, means lighter, so faster bow, and lighter. So when you're near the fingerboard, you can you need to play a little bit faster with the bow, at least the speed of the bow, in order for the string to grab onto the bow, right? On the contrary, if you're going closer to the bridge, you're going to have to start being a little bit stickier with the bow. So slower and heavier, I guess. So that's going to be one big aspect of bowing. So bow control, right? So here you can always be closer to the fingerboard, right? Because we're also playing in piano. But since we're also higher up, try not to play too close to the fingerboard, or otherwise it's not gonna grip. For example, here. So if we stay in the same position, we have to use less bow, right? But if we go closer to the fingerboard, we can use more bow. So try to experiment with bow placement. That's going to help you a lot with getting the right sound, getting the right color, and also it'll also help you with the bow placement. So that's going to be our opening statement. Try to, I'll talk about this in a bit, but phrasing wise, it's very important to create long phrases. So instead of that can be like one phrase, right? You can treat that as one phrase. Another phrase. So you can treat it as 3 sub-phrases, mini phrases, or you can kind of create one gigantic phrase. If you kind of relate it together, try not to stop the bowing, right? Think of the melody through, sing the melody through. It really helps to sing out loud the melody. And then let's go on. So we're still in the main phrase, right, in the beginning. So we're going to be here, C natural, up bow, piano, and dolce, right? Dolce means sweet. Very endearing, right? So try to start at the tip. Lots of vibrato. Two, three, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go until there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Extension, right there is extension. Da, 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 da. Don't shift there. Stay in position. 3. Let's do 3, 1. And then here we're gonna start shifting. All right, so. 2, 3, 4. Shift up to F sharp. Shift half step up to G. Shift whole step up to A, right? If you can't find it, it's simply a harmonic. And also try to raise your elbow. Don't hit your hand on the shoulder of the cello, right? Simply raise your elbow, but don't raise your shoulder though. Don't do that. Just whoop, chicken wing, man. We're gonna separate that. And let's just delete. just delete that. So it's going to be down, down, right? And the C is going to be down bow. All right, so starting from the E, right? You can tune that F sharp with that D. And then here, that if you have trouble with your thumb, if you don't know what to do with the thumb, you can always either float it or put it to the side of the fingerboard. That's a good way to kind of have stable position, right? If you're not comfortable with putting your thumb over the string yet, right, like as a thumb position, just put it to the side here, right? All right, so C here, C, C, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, A, and for that A, we're all the way out here, but we have one quarter note to go all the way back. So 2, 3, we're gonna play that A closer to the fingerboard in order to come back to the frog, right? And then as you play that next, right, creep up to the bridge in order to save your bow, right? And then alright, so let's go until there. And I'll explain you why I stopped there. So the light blue phrase is going to go all the way to there. So as I said, closer to the fingerboard, or let's just write fingerboard, fingerboard, and then here would be bridge, right? So just remember to try and let's write it in lighter color. This guy. So fingerboard and bridge. So fingerboard until there. So that's gonna help you with bowing and connecting the phrase and things like that. All right, so why do I stop there? That's where. So one thing about playing a duet, especially romantic duet like this, is it's showcasing both the cello and the piano, right? So we had the melody for good part of the beginning, right? So it's time to let the piano have a chance at the melody, right? So this is when the piano takes over for a little bit with the melody. So it's gonna play the melody up high, and we're going to accompaniment. So this part is going to be an accompaniment, this next part. But you know what? Before that, let's play the light blue phrase all the way through for it. So 1, 2, ready, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and right, so that's when the piano starts taking over. I can't sing and play at the same time. So here, same thing, right? This part, fingerboard. So playing closer to the fingerboard is just going to simply help you move it back, right? Recover the bow. So, right. Also, as you not only the movement or the placement of the bow, but you also have to kind of lighten up the weight of the bow in order to match the volume. Really, the tricky part about all of this, it's very detailed, right? All the things I'm talking about. So, I think left hand at this point. Yes, there are some hard shifts and things like that, but more so than the left hand, this piece requires, I think, more attention to the bow hand and bow control. So I'll probably keep on mentioning about the bow in this piece. So yeah, and so one other thing that you want to do as far as the bow placement, we're trying to recover the bow as well, right? So, but we can't recover the bow at the cost of mismatching volume, right? So if we stay, that's why I'm saying when you do recovering or bow recovery, try to play the bow with a lighter weight feeling, right? Really, it's all about making a very smooth melodic sound, trying not to have mismatching sounds, right? So that's gonna be all in the bow. Accompaniment. Here we're going to be in accompaniment. So let's move on. Let's do purple. So here, stay on the D string. And then triplets, right? Triplet quarter notes. Da, 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 dee, da, da. We're not doing that fingering. We're going to third finger and then fourth finger. So your first finger, so your second finger is going to be D, right? So you can tune it that way. And then shift down to second position. And then here, C string. Right? So here will be C string. Let's write 4 like that. So, and then this is up, O, up, down. up, down. Sorry. Oh, shift up. It's a harmonic here. G. And here we're basically doing a trade-off with the piano. So this entire part we're accompanying the piano, right? So something like that. I'm sorry. Terrible singing. That's why I'm a cellist. So boom. So the piano is going to have the da da dee dum. Boom. A piano will have the downbeat there. Boom. Pretty straightforward there. But that next note, right here. So the easiest way to find that B flat, I guess there's a couple of ways. You can think about A harmonic. That's one way to find your reference point, right? That open A or harmonic A can be a reference point. Or another reference point would be that G. So I tend to like to think about G, first finger on G a little bit better. Mainly because that's the distance of the hand, the distance of the position of the hand, right? Also, I can just shift up to C if I want to. And here, it's just a minor seventh up, right? So there's a couple of reference points that you can think of, right? You have that open A, or not open A, harmonic A with the second finger. You can either, so that will be half step up, or if you find the G with the first finger, it'll be minor third up, right? If you find the C, it'll be the same finger pattern, just shifted over one string, which is a minor seventh, right? So a lot of different ways to find that E, or B flat, sorry. And you have plenty of time, so 1, 2, 3. So on the always try and cut the last eighth note, right, of the dotted quarter. 1, 2, and on that on the rest, on the space that you're putting in, that's when you can shift, right? 2, A, and then that B flat octave down is going to be on that D string. Stay there. And next will be F. And then shift down to fourth position. A. And the same thing here for that C, high C. Here Probably easiest to just go up to harmonic. Like that. Find the harmonic. Same thing, give a space in the dotted quarter, right? And shift down. So those are going to be a little bit tricky. Let's write that. I'm going to put it in parentheses. So those are a little bit difficult. And then we're gonna stay in position. 2, 3. And letter A. Alright, so here we're going to be in first position and then shift to third position, right? Da, da. E with the fourth finger, 2, 1. 1 is going to be extension 4, 2, and then go up to 2. Why is it up there? Can't see anything when it's in the staff. Alright, so this will be 2 and then shift to 2. Alright, so 2, 3, 2, 3, heavy. Right, also you can hop on that E because it's a staccato. And that's the end of the purple phrase. So that's going to be arguably the introduction, right, of the exposition. I would say this is also where, in terms of how composers compose during Romantic period, they're taking lots of melodic motifs, thematic ideas, and then throughout the piece, they like to transform it, right? It's kind of the same idea what Bach did with the suites, taking the harmonic form and then varying the dance styles, right? Here, we're taking the melody and then we're kind of tweaking the melodies here and there, passing it between instruments, modulating in keys and things like that, right? So, that's going to be the first part. And then letter A is going to be where we kind of start moving away from, well, I don't know how to explain it, I guess. It's a different phrase. Let's just say that. All right, so let's see. Should I play? Yeah, let's play through what we have until. So beginning until letter A. All right, 1, 2. Let's do it slightly under tempo. 1, 2, ready, and. 2, 3. Hold and up and relax and all right. So I'm kind of shouting out the piano parts, but that's really the way I practice. It's really helpful to be aware of what the accompaniment part has or what the other musician has, right? And this applies for any type of music. If you're playing with another person, right, it's always helpful to know what they're playing. That goes in any orchestras, any duets, any quartets, right? It's always helpful to have a score. And we'll take a look later, maybe at the end, how to read a score as well. All right. So let's continue on from letter A. Go green. All right, so letter A, we're changing harmonically a little bit. And also, the piano is going to also start doing triplets. Right? So that's something to be aware of when you're playing with a pianist here. The subdivision starts changing here. So fingering wise, pretty straightforward. So we're going 2, 3, and here let's just extend our fingers. So 1, first finger, 3, 4, 4, 3. So here, pretty straightforward. We're gonna slur also the measure. Here it's just extension, and then A flat. Here, so F sharp, E sharp, which is also same thing as F natural, right? So 2, 3, 2. So if we play that phrase once again, 1, 2, and 2. Remember to tune that third finger with the open G, and like that. So here, even though you have what sounds like the melody, right? But really what's happening is the piano has the melody as well. So you're playing quiet, you're kind of in between melody and accompaniment. I guess you can call it counter melody. And it's supposed to be piano, right? But another thing to consider about playing with a different instrument is the volume of the instrument, the natural tendency of like how loud the instrument sounds, right? So there's a limit to how loud the cello can play, right? Sound. And also there's a limit to how loud the piano can sound. And those limits are very different, right? A piano can be much louder than the cello. So our piano, even though we're playing piano, we still gotta be able to be heard. So just be in consideration of that. Don't play too under the piano, right? Also, this is a low string, so lower in the register, it's going to be, the ear is generally going to have a more difficult time picking up things in the lower register. So play it maybe mezzo piano, not so piano. Here. Simply harmonic here, harmonic. I play all the G's fingered because you can vibrate, right? And then here, shift down to fourth finger. Like that. Down, bow, up. Fourth finger. Let's do 4, down, up. That's a terrible up bow. Up bow. Alright. So you can kind of hear that the phrase kind of relaxes there a little bit, right? Harmonically, it kind of takes a breather, right? And then we come to this part. This is where we take over the melodic part. So it also says espressivo, right? In the music, it gives us a hint to how that we have the melody, right? So 1-1. Na ra 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 ra. So 2-1-1. 2-1-1. 1-1. 4-2. 4. All right, something. Okay, so this part. Stay in position. Same finger. And then here, G with the first finger. No. Ma. Then we go to fourth position here. 4. So you can see that we're getting increasingly more intense, right? So, and also you can see here, we're doing a crescendo, right? Let's just like that, right? Sorry, right here. And the C is going to be starting on an up bow. Da, da. And then here, da 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 da. Second finger, shift to third position. then here 3, 3, 2, 2. Four. I like to stay in position here. 3 da da dum. And then here 1 B. The rehearsal number says B there, but I'm not sure if I would agree with that. I'm going to erase the B that's here. I don't agree. Because harmonically it keeps on going, right? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. And we land on the actual tonic, right? The beginning of the phrase lands here. So I would write the rehearsal letter here. And you'll see why. I think it's more impactful. Yeah, let's talk. So I'm going to mark the end of the purple phrase here. Or not purple, sorry. I'm going to mark the end of the green phrase here. And let me just show you the context, right? I think, so B is arguably the coolest part of the piece. All right, so from letter A, right? I made a couple of mistakes there. Anyways, that's probably like, that part is so good. All right, so you can see why I placed the B, rehearsal letter B, where I placed it. It just makes more sense phrasing wise. When you're in a rehearsal, right? It's much easier to go to that part. So that's going to be the green phrase, and here you're going to have one thing that's going to be important. Here, constant vibrato. So your left hand is never gonna stop moving, right? maybe slower. So a lot of the times, the problem I encounter myself and in my students is that we tend to stop our vibrato before before we have to change fingers or something like that, right? Or shifting before we shift, we stop the vibrato. But try not to do that. Remember that the vibrato comes from your forearm, right? Forearm motion. And your finger is just stopping that forearm motion. So finger to finger, the main motion of the vibrato shouldn't change. So that's going to be something to work on. I'll also show you an exercise that you can do at the end. All right, so let's go to our phrase B, the cool part. Let's mark it orange. All right, the epic part. So we're gonna 3 1 3 1 4 1. So you can tune your B with the D, and then your F sharp with the B, because that's going to be your perfect fourth. And then here we're going to shift all the way to F sharp. And then that C sharp is going to be just tritone away, right? So you can just do string crossing. And then here that F sharp is you're in the position, right? And then for that B, it's a fourth away. So you can either stretch really far or think of it as a half step shift as well as an extension. So it's really not that far, right? So you can also see how my hand kind of sets up the position to find it. And then as soon as I find it, I relax and, right, vibrato. Go back all the way to C here, or B. And then, instead of shifting back up, we're going to stay like that. And we're not going to do that. 4 2 1, and then here we're gonna do shifted 3 back here. 3 1 4 3. I don't know why they're making it so complicated. Gonna stay in position, and this is gonna be barred. Letter B. With the piano, it can get kind of tricky because you guys aren't together. So dum bum bo da da dee 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 bo dee dee da dee. So it's kind of wave like, right? So da dee ba dee dee dee. hopefully that explained the fingering. Bowing wise, so say. Two, three, four. Alright, so I will probably let's bum. That'll be the end of phrase B. And there's a 2-bar measure, or 2-bar rest. And here, this part always got me. I'm not gonna lie, this part is kind of tricky when you listen with the piano. So we'll see why that is. You can see there's some cue marks. The tiny notes, right? Those are what's called cue notes. C-U-E. So you can think of it as piano. Let's change the color. Piano cue. Do da dee ding do. So four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. So here, if we just ignore it, and just start here, what color should we do? Let's do red, because it's hard. So remember there's 2 bars here, and it's only piano. Da 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 da. So here, pretty straightforward fingering. Let's rewrite that so it's better. Three. And here, this is going to be 1, 4, 2, 1. Alright, so starting from red. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Let's extend the orange phrase. Scrap that. So the end of the phrase will be there, and we're almost to the end. We can see the repeat sign, right? All right, so B. Starting from where the last system, or the last line. So the rhythm here is going to be quite tricky. So count every eighth notes basically. Da 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 da. Da da dun dun da di da da di. And ba di da di. 2 3. So that's a tritone E and A sharp or B flat, right? All right. So rhythmically, this part is important. Always try and feel the one, right? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 3 4 1 So it's also pretty good to feel when you have the subdivisions down, try and feel the big beats, right? So instead of feeling in 4, try and feel in 2 big beats. That's gonna help. All right, let's go from letter C now. Letter C until the end is pretty straightforward. And it goes until there. And let's take a look. So, and then there's a whole different phrase coming in. And we're going to be an accompaniment once again here. So F sharp, B, F sharp. Stay on the same string there, right? And then here. And then it'll be just fifth. Pretty straightforward there. And then from here, we start to be more melodic. Alright, so So 1 3 2. That's going to be a 2 2 1 2. Da dee 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 da. Same thing here. Da dee dee. Da dee dee da da. Alright. So here, F sharp is going to be with the first finger. Shift down. And then shift back up to second position. And then shift back down to first position. And we're not doing those fingerings. Totally forgot. One, three, one. So. Bum, bum, bum. And one, and two, and. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the exposition of this movement. There is a repeat sign there, but generally we do not take that repeat actually. So I'm just going to cross it out. So we're going to go straight into second ending. But I think that's enough for today as far as Brahms. There's still a lot of things to talk about. But before that, let me just play through the movement. And I think that'll be a good thing to do. Alright. From the top. 1, 2, 3, and... Accompaniment still. And breather. Constant vibrato. And third position. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. second group. All right. So that's going to be it for the first movement of Brahms. There's a couple of things I would like to talk about. And first one is going to be the bow control once again, right? So as we talked about before, with the bow, it's very important to have it's very important to know the bow placement and what it does, right? So if you're closer to the fingerboard, you're gonna have to play lighter and faster, right? And if you're gonna play closer to the bridge, you're going to have to play a little bit stickier and heavier. So use that to your advantage. And as far as trying to do bow recuperation and things like that, bow placement, where the bowings and how it's affecting your phrasing and things like that. All right, and yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. I think that'll be the end of the lesson for today. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and it's really good seeing you all in the chat. And yeah, let's keep this going, and I will see you next time. All right, have a good one, y'all. Happy practicing. Bye.